Hey, I'm Nate, and I'm going to walk you through all the pieces and features of Encounter 2 in our new Hellscape Kickstarter campaign. This is the Torrent of Torment. This is a pretty big build that's based around a negative space area using our new phantasmal filters and large banks pieces. Let's take a look. This is the Torrent of Torment. It's a pretty nice sized encounter, mostly because I built this encounter around these large banks, and to work them all in ended up getting pretty big. And we needed to give enough space for minis to be able to actually wander around and not drown in magma or the river Styx, as it were. So, nice big encounter, lots of options for rebuilding some cool negative space builds here. Around the outside, we have a bunch of bread and butter pieces. We've got cascading pool corner. We have a couple of straight walls. And you can see all of these in the walkthrough for Encounter 1. I show them illuminated in some of the details. We've got a diagonal wall. We have a whole collection of trifecta pieces in here. So we've got the large trifecta curve. And so all these trifecta ledges play really nicely with the banks. So it gives you a lot of build options having these and the banks all in one place. So you have a ton of negative space build options. We've got a pair of the regular 2-inch trifecta corner. We've got a pair of the trifecta swell. This is the right swell, the left swell. We have the big right swell. And this takes an insert wall or hooks up nicely with our passage pieces, as we're doing here. We have an insert wall in the set that you can put in there if you want to turn that into a wall. We have this little convex corner trifecta. And this thing also works nicely with the little 1-inch floor, so you can make an outside wall corner if you need it for passages. We've got 2 straight trifecta walls in here, and as a stretch goal we threw in a couple extra straight ledges to go with those walls, so you can use them as regular walls if you need. Gives you lots of building options if you're not building this layout. We have a few fiddly bits in there. We have 2 1x1 floors, 2x1 floor, 2 1-inch walls. This gives you a lot of sort of advanced building possibilities. A whole bunch of regular flat floors in there, as well as the stagnant puddle floor, which is a caverns deep piece that we've turned into a lava piece. Looks awesome illuminated. We have this big convex curve piece. Love the lines on this piece. This is a caverns deep piece, which looks particularly fabulous as a lava piece. Look at that big pool on there. And also in plain pieces, we have this brand new sculpt. This is our 4x4 spouted floor. So it's a big 4x4 footprint floor. It's got a lot of pretty flat area, gameable space. It's a nice reprise from everything being full of lava and the like. This gives your minis somewhere to stand, gives your plot items somewhere to stand, your accessories. It's great if you just need to fill out a lot of space. We're going to offer this in standard caverns paint also, so it's a great addition to your standard caverns pieces. We've got a few stalagmites. We have a corner fill, a pointy, and this big towering stalagmite. These are caverns deep pieces turned into lava. Look how cool that thing looks in lava. And they also just break up line of sight, make movement more difficult, as well as just looking cool. We have our 4 lava core pieces in here. We've got the lava drip corner fill. We have the big 4x4 wall, the 4x4 floor, and 2 4x4 corners. I walked through all of these in the Encounter 1 walkthrough, so you can see them in all their violent magma glory in there. And then we have this other new piece here. This is the lava cave entrance piece. This thing is massive, right? It's 4 inches across this way, it's 6 inches this way, a huge footprint there. It's meant to be a entrance to your cave. It can be a transition to your other caves. You could combine it with passage pieces to make an alcove. Tons of gameable space in there. You can put your minis along, place to perch. And of course, there's nice, violent magma erupting out here. Another example of the team just sculpting, just active eruptions. Like, look, it's just pushing the stone aside, rippling down over the stone, kicking up the floor pieces. There's so much violent seismic activity in here. There's just lots of cracks hidden throughout the sculpts. And looks like things could break apart at any moment. Keep your players on their toes. That brings us to this negative space section, which features our new large banks, as well as our phantasmal filter for the river Styx. This banks section starts with our banks transitions pieces. These are caverns deep pieces turned lava. They transition from banks up to walls, so you can build right up in line with the rest of your walls. They look wonderful illuminated. And they get us down from walls to banks. We also have a pair of the caverns deep regular straight banks. And then our new ones, so we have 3 new sculpts here. So this is our 4-inch straight bank. That thing gives you a nice variety if you have to do a long straight run. It has a lot of nice visual variety vertically. And it just looks fantastic in magma. The large banks pieces these were caverns deep pieces that we had originally sculpted for caverns deep, but they were so big and the encounters were getting so big I couldn't fit them in. So they patiently waited on hold till they got to come to life here in the Hellscape. And man, they're a natural fit. They just look so good illuminated. This is our big 4x4 corner. That massive thing. Tons of gameable space. It has this nice little lava pool by the edge, which when you illuminate it really pops. And we're going to offer all of these banks pieces in the standard caverns paint if you want to start your regular caverns bank collection or add to your caverns deep banks collection. This is the convex curve, or no, this is the concave curve. Yes, on the inside corner. It has this really cool lava pool here. And these pieces are great for variety if you have a bunch of banks already or on their own. They just make these big curving areas really feel nice and organic. It's going to give you a ton of negative space building options, these 3 new sculpts. Super excited about these. And underneath all these banks, in the negative space that's exposed, we have our first phantasmal filter here. So this is the river Styx. This is a prototype graphic. We're still working on it. We'll show you finals along the way. It'll be a river of 1,000 tortured souls. Screaming sees these little glowing eyes and the like in there somewhere. Maybe some hands and faces, or who knows what. It's going to be creepy and terrifying. It's kind of ghostly green. It's glowing. So these phantasmal filters, this is an example. By the way, this is a 12 by 12. We're only doing 8 by 8s because we have the 8 by 8 light boxes. This is an example of what it's going to look like. This is another prototype for magma flow. So we call them phantasmal because they have an illusion, right? They look beautiful and opaque. Right here, it works great. You could do a negative space build on here just as is, no problem. Then if you introduce light behind them, they just come alive and glow. So these are ideal to place on our new DF light panels, as well as just using standalone, but really excited about these phantasmal filters. They should make your players' jaws drop when you illuminate the whole thing from below on your table. Should get them pretty excited. So in here we have river Styx. I wanted to break up. We had a lot of, go figure, we had a lot of lava in this lava cavern. So we wanted to break it up and have something that wasn't lava in the negative space. And river Styx seemed like the perfect way to get in and out of hell / a great hazard to introduce to your players. And a nice change in the visual palette from everything being glowing red and yellow. And finally, around the perimeter, we have this dead end piece. So this is a Cavern Steep piece, which we've repainted in lava. And what's cool about it is you can swap out the floor, so you can put any sort of floor you want in there. You can put some sort of hazard in there if you wanted. You could maybe a hole, whatnot. Gives you options there. It builds up really nicely against the trifecta pieces, any of the passage pieces. It works wonderfully with this cave entrance piece, so you can make a cool little dead-end alcove there. For details, for terrifying details, we have this rupture spire here. And this is, Nina has worked some magic on this thing. It's pretty massive, standing well over the height of the Bean Slayer here. And it's covered in infernal runes. The team put together, Eli made some infernal runes. It's a phonetic alphabet he did, with as well as runes of power, and then we've sort of decorated them up and rolled them out into a whole bunch of the sculpts. So you see a lot of these infernal runes everywhere. This thing looks like it could just be natural talons that the devils have put on here, or maybe it's carved out of metal or stone. Whatever it is, the devils are clearly up to no good, and this is a source of fell magic. In this encounter, we're going to have a pair of them creating like a force field that you can't pass through until you deal with the Howling Devil statue. Man, I just love these things. Right here should be a Howling Devil statue. However, it has been lost in transit. We're waiting for new castings to arrive, so we can't show it to you just yet. But we're really looking forward to it because it's a beautiful sculpt. But even without it, this is a stunning encounter to throw down on your table and challenge your players with. The Bean Slayer quakes in his boots, thinking of falling into the river Styx and being swallowed by 1,000 tormented souls. And that could very well happen in the Torrent of Torment. So that's it. You can get all of this in our Hellscape Kickstarter, which is running now until July 1st, 2019. If you're watching this after that time, you should subscribe and ring the bell so you'll find out about our next Kickstarter and all the other cool Dwarven Forge news. So that's it. Back to the anvil for us. Bye.